Lichtenberger with an ace-king. And he is going to bump it up, makes it 275,000. But Kyle behind him with ace-9. Quick to call.
So as the cards lie, Andy has him dominated. Ace-king versus ace-9. And what a flop for Andy. He's flopped the joint, the best hand possible, the ace-high straight, as it comes queen-jack-10.
The cinch, the nuts. What do you do? Trap it. Dig the hole, put the branches and the twigs over it. Wait for the big sucker, Kyle, to fall in. And he is.
And he's done it. He's bet 300,000 here. He does have an open-end straight draw, but the best he can do is tie this hand.
That's a call. It's a call.
Kyle is exactly right. That was what we call a string raise.
Really? Okay.
He didn't have all the chips out there at once. Kyle quickly called him on it.
Next card.
And said, that's a call. Now, to me, that's a bit of a tell that you don't have anything yet. Now he's caught the king. He's made the ace-high straight, too. Both players have the ace-high straight, but Andy has the ace-high flush draw to go along with his straight. He's on the free roll.
There's 3 diamonds out there. And Andy Frankenberger is going to bet 775.
Well, Kyle has hit the best card he could hit right here.
And he has called it.
At least at the moment, to give him an ace-high straight. They're tied right now. Andy on the jelly roll. If a diamond comes off, he'd make a flush and have the best hand.
Another
the
diamond.
5 of diamonds does come off.
So sick. So sick.
Andy has made the ace-high flush. Now the question is, how much to bet to get paid off?
Would you have called it if I raised before? Would I have called it?
The burgers start to talk now, ask questions.
That is a weird question to ask at this stage before you bet.
I'm all in. God.
Now he's going all in.
How does he say?
A huge overbet here in my mind.
Oh, this is going to put Kyle into the rubber room.
Can you count that, please? That's unbelievable. What kind of...
He is confused. He's angry about this.
Well, Vince, I don't blame him for being confused here.
What kind of act is that? I don't know. He says so sick, and then he goes all in.
Not too bad, actually.
I think it was a very strange act. I agree with Kyle here.
There's no way you say all that and then you don't have a diamond in your hand.
The guy said, would you have called me if I'd have gone all in on the turn? And now he goes all in on the river. Now, in my mind, the only way you can make that play is if you have the ace of diamonds or you don't have a diamond.
If he had nothing, it'd be the greatest bluff of the WPT, but not to be. Kyle figures it out, lays down the hand, good fold.
Well, Kyle laid down the ace-high straight, a good laydown by him.
So sick.
But very peculiar questioning in my mind by Andy there before he bet.
Kyle Wilson getting punchy here.
On the button with 8-deuce offsuit, she'll sit this one out over to Jason Mercier with jack-deuce suited. I don't think there's really any 2 cards that Jason's unwilling to at least limp in with against Tony.
I agree. I think he's going to play 100% from his small blind, and he'll raise the best ones. Everything else is going to get a limp. And he drills it here on this Jack-Jack-3 flop. The tricky part will be getting Tony to put in chips. I like that Jason begins by checking.
Googly Eddie with the 4-5. Tempting spot to try to bluff and take the pot down.
Yeah, very uncoordinated board, but we've seen Tony lean passive before, and he does check behind here.
Turn card is a 5. Tony now with jacks and 5s, and Mercier's going to bet 18,000.
That's almost full pot here. And Tony will raise. This is not what I expected. I think a call is a better play here. I'm not sure why Tony's raising.
Well, perhaps he thinks Jason is just taking a shot at the pot and is worried that his 5 may not be good on the river if he smooth calls, doesn't want to end up in no man's land. But clearly, Dunst, you and I agree, this is not the way you want to play against Jason Mercier. Jason just calls the extra 32,000, giving Tony some extra rope, and a deuce on the river gives Mercier a full house.
And Tony just checks behind. Good check on the river.
Good hand. Needed you to have the flush.
Yeah, I should have known better.
Jason hoping that Tony would have a flush there, or at least a holding strong enough that he could bet again.
Lichtenberger with ace-10 is going to raise. Oh, no, wait a minute. He's just called.
Interesting play by Chewy here. I think the main reason he does this is because he thinks his hand is just a little awkward to play in a 3-bet pot, so he wants to limp, and if somebody has a good hand like Noah does, he can afford to just call and see a flop.
Well, Noah with the 2 jacks has 2-bet to 320,000. Both blinds have been dismissed. Now it's back over to Chewy. Any chance he's going to limp 3-bet?
No, that's just not Chewy's style, and it wouldn't make sense with this hand.
And he makes the call for 240,000, as predicted.
Chewy gonna have to get pretty lucky to beat Noah Schwartz's pocket jacks.
Yeah, here comes the flop. Oh, and luck has been exactly what Chewy has had plenty of at this final table. He hits trip aces, and that's even better than hitting just a single ace as far as getting action from Noah is concerned.
Absolutely, it makes it that much less likely that Chewy has an ace and that Noah will give him credit for one.
Never mind the fact that he limped in, making Noah feel that much more comfortable that Chewy doesn't have an ace, as we see Schwartz bet 355,000 and get called. Here comes the turn card. It's a 4.
So this is such a dry board. When Noah gets called here, he's got to at least start to think that Chewy could have an ace. I don't mind checking back here. I don't even mind checking on the flop. Noah deciding to bet again for value, hoping that Chewy has a pocket pair or maybe just a stubborn king high, and it's not particularly likely that Chewy was just floating out of position.
Well, if there was a chance that Schwartz was going to feel very comfortable as of the call of 525,000 by Lichtenberger, that chance has slimmed.
Yeah, pretty easy check back here for Noah Schwartz.
Yeah, both players knuckle the end.
Incredible.
Lichtenberger gives Schwartz a look at an ace, and Noah seems disgusted.
Yeah, you know, part of the frustration, I think, is just because from Noah's point of view, his opponents are so tough. I mean, Noah's
And Seaver's going to raise it to 22,000. Over to Isaac, who has pocket jacks again. Just calls.
This is a little bit surprising, I think, from Ike to smooth call with pocket jacks. I prefer to see a 3-bet here.
Actions on Tom. Well, McDonald has accepted the invitation with pocket 3s.
Obviously, Ike is one of the best post-flop players in the world, so if anybody's going to be able to navigate a multi-way pot with pocket jacks, it should be him.
Tim and Phillip have both folded over to Mike McDonald, who has the 3rd pocket pair in this hand pre-flop, 6s. He'll defend his big blind for an extra 12K, and will take the flop 4-way. 1 burn down, 3 cards off the top of the stub, and a 6. 6, 9, 8. Mike McDonald way out in front.
Yeah, it looks like a pot is going to develop between Mike and Ike here. Obviously, Isaac with the overpair and Mike with the flopped set of 6s.
Mike checks, Scott checks. And now, how do you feel about this board texture and 3 players along for the ride pre-flop if you have 2 jacks?
Well, it's two-sided. On one side, obviously you feel relatively comfortable because you do have an overpair. But on the flip side, because players are playing so conservatively, you expect most players to have somewhat decent hands, and a lot of them are going to include pocket pairs. So you need to be at least somewhat wary of a flop set.
With that said, and 100,000 in the middle, Ike is going to fire 55K. 2 3s hit the muck rather quickly, and now it's back over to Mike.
It's a pretty healthy bet there. Not too large, but definitely signals some strength. It'll be interesting to see how Mike plays. I think he can reasonably play it slow and try to trap, or play it fast and obviously get stacks in. He's more than comfortable doing that with his hand.
And there is the icy stare of Mike McDonald.
All in.
Ivy-esque almost, and he announces all in.
Wow, that is a big, big bet. In this moment, I can't imagine Mike not having a strong hand doing this.
Yeah, I call.
Wow, and Ike does call here. He's not going to be happy when he sees Mike's set.
No, that would explain us having to bleep. Ike displeased after getting a look at Mike's cards.
I think this is a little bit of a mistake in this moment here. It's such a big pot. It's such a critical moment.
But it's not over yet, Olivier. A queen on the turn means Ike can win this pot with a 10 or a jack. Instead, it's a 7. And Haxton with yet another disappointing finish in these Alpha 8 events.
Yeah, he was the money bubble in Florida, now 2 from the money.
Pretty incredible stuff for a guy that says he can't see. Maybe you're better off you can't see the flops and stuff. Just fire.
Well, action's on him. This time he has ace high. He makes it 160 to go. Now Ben behind him with a pair of jacks. But he's just going to call.
Incredible. He does not re-raise with the jacks.
Enzo going out. Could this be a big mistake by Ben? We will see. And look at this flop of Kevin Eister.
How good is this guy running? He flops us straight here. This could spell doom for Ben, the Canadian.
Ben checks the overpair. And Eister bets. Going to come out and bet 140. Oh, man, and Ben has got the overpair, but just calling.
Yeah, does not check raise here like I thought he would with that flop.
Here comes the turn.
Well, now a queen comes out. That's an overcard. So Ben not going to like that. He's going to check. And here we go. Kevin betting again. And Ben calling again.
Down to the river.
When a king comes off. Well, Ben checks again, but that card could save him money. He'll be afraid that Kevin hit a king or a queen here to beat his jacks.
Look at this. Kevin betting 800,000.
Man, he's all choked up here right now, but those last two cards could save his life, literally, in this tournament. I mean, after that flop, it looked like there was no way he wasn't going broke with two jacks here.
This would be a nice laydown at this point, and looks like he's
You win, kid.
gonna do the right thing. Lets it go.
Well, he does lay it down, but I'm still wowed. He has chips left with two jacks there.